We want someone to satisfy all our dreams. We want someone to make us feel X, Y, and Z. We want someone else to get us this, that, and the other. We want someone else to make us feel important. We've forgotten that we have to do all of those things for ourselves.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Cornerstone Qonversations, where we'll be talking about important issues that affect our lives in an authentic, candid, and honest manner. To help us navigate these topics, I have Tazim Elkington. Tazim, who has been described as an evolutionary disruptor, a paradigm shifter. She is a hypnotherapist, a regression therapist, a trainer, a speaker, and possibly one of the most candid and authentic people I know. Welcome, Tazim.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Damaris. And so today we're talking about shedding past baggage.
Yes. What is this thing called baggage? Maybe you can just start by defining for us what this thing we call baggage is, and if indeed we all have it in our lives.
So firstly, there isn't a single person that doesn't carry baggage, because the whole point of life is that from the time we arrive to the time we die, we have experiences, we have interaction, we have engagement, we have correlation with other people because we're not islands. And from the minute we were born, we start literally accumulating baggage. I mean, look at it from the first point is that we're given a name we didn't choose.
Yeah.
We get described by who we look like, mother, father, everyone's trying to identify us.
Yeah.
And this is just the way life is, there's nothing we can do about it. We collect behavior and beliefs from our parents, from our families, our culture, our tradition. And I'm not saying all beliefs are not good. However, many beliefs that are transferred, from one generation to another, from parents to children, to siblings, to families, all of this stuff ultimately becomes our baggage. And then we add our own experiences as we grow. And our experiences have emotions that show up. So for every experience, we have a couple of emotions. And then we create our own beliefs and we create our own way of perceiving life. And all of this stuff then becomes our baggage. And until we start examining our baggage to see, what parts are really unhealthy for us, we carry on living in unhealthy ways.
Mm-hmm. And so what is the process of examining this baggage? Do you just sit by yourself and say, okay, this is what I term as the baggage that's in my life now, and this is the way forward? Or how would somebody even begin? Where would they begin?
So first of all, to begin with, one has to examine their life. And they have to see the parts of their life that's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at why those parts are not working. Is it because I'm responding or reacting in certain ways? Is it because the other person is reacting instead of not really responding? Generally, people are reacting. When people start reacting to each other, or when a person, inside one knows that there are parts of their life that are falling apart, or that are not together, or that are making the person unhappy, or making the person feel that there's something out of whack.
Yeah.
So when you look at those parts, you've got to literally ask yourself, what's my responsibility in this? Because mostly people make it about the other person.
Right.
Or about the situation. Or it's never about others. It's always about ourselves.
Even when it is, because sometimes it's not so much blaming other people, but you find yourself in a situation which was beyond your control. Maybe it's your parents that put you into it, or your work situation that puts you into it. Are you saying that even then you are the one who's responsible for that?
Yes. When you're younger, it's different, because if your parents put you in a school, that was their decision, and you were too young to do anything about it.
Right.
And they were doing the best they could under the circumstances and from what they know. So we don't blame our parents. The point is that we understand that this is the way life was, and maybe that situation or that school didn't make me happy, or happy, again, I'm careful to use that word, wasn't what I wanted, or I could have done something different. However, you can't change the past. So it's about taking responsibility presently.
Right.
And as an adult, you need to take responsibility. And so, yes, it comes back to you, because in the present time, you have to take responsibility for your life and for the places you are in or circumstances you're in. So for example, the job, give me an example of a job where something isn't functioning, or it's dysfunctional.
Maybe
not functioning properly.
Okay, maybe you were desperate for a job and you just needed to find something that could help you make money. But this is not something that speaks to your passions, or it doesn't make you happy, basically. Yeah, but you have to do it because you need the money. We all need money to live, right? So in that case, you're not really blaming the job for your unhappiness, but it's sort of like a situation that at that present moment is beyond your control.
So let's make one thing clear, that life is not a bed of roses, huh? Okay, so you need the money, you have to take a job, you have to make good with that.
Right.
And while you're making good with that, start looking at the alternative of what you would like to be doing in order to feel satisfied. Let's drop the word happy, because happy is not a constant. Happy lasts 30 seconds. So if literally every emotion lasts 30 to 45 seconds, so we get so addicted to this happiness doesn't last. Every emotion lasts 30 to 45 seconds. So people have really been misled that, look for happiness constantly. If you look for happiness only, you actually start to get really averse to all the other emotions. Our life is about experiencing all the emotions as they come and go. So you need money, you have to take a job, make the best out of it while you're looking at what else you need to do. But this expectation that we're going to be, we have to be with someone who makes us happy, we have to be in a job that makes us happy, we have to have enough money to make us happy, we must live in a house that makes us happy, we must buy these things that make us happy, are all misleading concepts in this materialistic world. That's why no matter how much people have, they're still unhappy.
So if it's not happiness that people are chasing, what are they chasing?
People are chasing more and more of what they can get. honestly, greed has become one of the underlying cornerstones of our time. Nothing is enough, is it?
Mm-hmm.
You have 5 pairs of shoes, you want 10. You have a wardrobe full of clothes, you want a second wardrobe.
Yeah.
You have a small car, you want a bigger car. So what are we chasing? We're chasing the delusion that more is going to make us happy. So first of all, more doesn't make you happy, and happy is not there to stay because it lasts 30 to 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So how delusional have we become?
Apparently very, very delusional. So then going back to just how that affects our daily lives and our efforts to now shed some of this baggage. I guess even what you're talking about, happiness, this idea of happiness is also a form of baggage that we carry, right? Yeah.
Yes, because you see, on the pretext of I want to be happy, we get into relationships because we think that's going to give us happiness. We don't examine the other person properly. We don't give it time. It's become how would I put it? It's become an exchange. If I'm with you, what am I going to get out of you?
Mm-hmm.
And in return, what can I give you? And let's not push it, kind of thing. That's why relationships are not working. Relationships are falling out because people actually don't take enough time to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, after the honeymoon period, things start to fall apart. And then there's all the blame game. And you were like this before. And everyone's putting on their best show while they're courting. And then when the real person comes out, the real person is not the person they wanted to be with.
Mm.
So we're really delusional about what life is supposed to be. We're only here for a short time. We're passing through. And we're so hooked up on so much of everything that goes on outside that we have stopped being realistic. We want someone to satisfy all our dreams. We want someone to make us feel X, Y, and Z. We want someone else to get us this, that, and the other. We want someone else to make us feel important. We've forgotten that we have to do all of those things for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So this constant race to get satisfaction from the outside, satisfaction is probably a better word, to get satisfaction from the outside is a never-ending journey. It's like a deep, dark, never-ending hole. And it's time for people to start examining, I'm here for a short while. I am born, I will die. And for that time in between, what am I doing with my life? How much do I really need? How much do I really, how much do I have to, people buy these huge houses and they're working from 14, 16 hours a day and not even enjoying these homes. They have all these cars parked outside their homes. And how many cars can you drive? So, and then you go to the person that doesn't have all of this. And for them, it is, if I get more, I will be happier. But actually, in their simplicity and in their simple lives, they're probably better off because they have less to worry about.
Mm. Yeah. So then what's the way forward? Now, after you've examined all this stuff, let's assume now you're in a place where you've chased all these things, you found that none of them is doing it for you. What's the way forward from there?
Now, it's not simple for someone to look at themselves and find the root causes of what's created all of these imbalances. COVID has already shown us. Look at what COVID has done. You
Yeah.
know, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much you have, it's all it's irrelevant at the moment since February, because you have to stick at home, you have to do what you're told and what you're dictated to about. You know, there's nothing you can do. And so in this few months, people have had to literally face themselves and face their partners and face their families, which they've been running away from for so long. And what has this shown people? Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that this is the life I was living, or these are the people I have in my life, or oh my goodness, is this who I am?
Mm.
So there are some things that people can get and then consciously decide to start changing. However, you know, again, therapy is taboo on our continent, and mostly people think that if you go for therapy, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
well, surprise, there's something wrong with everybody, and not just one thing. Everybody's got crap going on. Let's call it what it is, because it's come down from generations. It's come down from culture, tradition, religion, education, misinformation, media, the things we're told. A lot of them are not true. So we're not looking for perfection. What we're looking at to examine our lives and to heal wounds. Unhealed wounds need to be healed. And we have them from generations. You listen to family history of certain people, and you'll see that things have been carried over through generations. You look at this need to achieve and succeed. We've lost the need to achieve and succeed as human beings, and we've gone to the need and to achieve success based on monetary value
and competition, right?
Yes, it's really important we go back to the basics to learn how to be successful as human beings. So therapy definitely is something people must consider. There's nobody on this planet that doesn't need therapy, because we are carrying baggage, not just ours, but our parents, our grandparents and great-grandparents, and from the tribal and the cultural and the religious, and it's unending. And because the planet is changing, the world is changing, we have the responsibility and the opportunity to start healing these old wounds so that we don't transfer them to our children and we don't transfer it to our grandchildren. So this is really an opportunity to start working at the inner, deeper level for people to start cleaning up this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think intellectually what you've said makes a lot of sense. We just hope that what you said earlier about the way we view therapy, and it's almost seen like, you're weak if you go for therapy. And the people who don't go for therapy are the ones who have it figured out. But actually it's the other way around, right? I think the hardest work is self-work. Wouldn't you agree?
Completely. I mean, I've been through it myself, and I started to go through it when we didn't have access to proper therapists. Okay. And I've been doing this work on myself for 30 years. And man, it's hard. It's tough. And it's tough because the only way is to start being honest with yourself and honest with the people around. And honesty is something that's is not an easy value that people live by. People don't have integrity. They don't have integrity to themselves. They don't have integrity to the people around mostly. So starting that road to honesty, it was tough for me because of course I was taught to lie. Of course I lied. And then I had to stop. And when I had to start learning to be honest, I can assure you people didn't like it.
Yeah.
I had to grow a thicker skin. You know me well enough.
Yeah.
And you know how many truths I come up with. Yes.
Mm.
And there's a lot of, people defend, people push back, there's resistance. However, when you break it down, it's real, it's true. So what a good therapist does, because we have lots of different categories of therapists, but what a good therapist does is to be your mirror, to help you see yourself, to help you identify the actual issues, and then go down to the core to heal at the core level, to understand and heal at the core level.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's when you can overcome all these distortions and dysfunctionalities, because there's not a single person that doesn't have them. And even though I've been working on myself for 30 years, every once in a while a new one pops up or an old one shows its face, and I deal.
Yeah. That's great, Tazim. I think, yeah, we've captured a lot in this very short discussion, but there's a lot that's been said. And I think the big takeaway here is that we do need to work on ourselves, and we do need to seek therapy. And I guess therapy takes various forms. Yeah. Can you perform therapy on yourself, or do you need an actual therapist to walk you through?
People could do therapy. If people could do therapy on themselves, they'd be doing it. But how do you know how to do therapy on yourself? You're not trained. You're not trained to be a therapist. This is a profession. And it's a very, very sensitive profession. And this is why I say a good therapist, because, people get into professions and not everybody is wonderful at it. We have amazing therapists in Nairobi and in Kenya. We really do. We have many good therapists, okay? So it's a profession that requires deep training, requires experience. It requires a therapist to have done the self-work in order to help other people as well. So yeah, people read books, people try to look for answers in, on YouTube, etc. All of that will help at a superficial level. When it gets down to the core, you need help from outside. And asking for help or going for help is no longer something that ought to be taboo. When you understand that you're not carrying just your baggage, but you're carrying an entire slew from God knows how far back.
Yeah.
So therapy comes in many different forms. There are many different forms of therapy. There are many different types of therapy. There are many different angles. And so one has to really, examine and interview a therapist to see what they do. And the delusion that therapy ought to be easy and fluffy and nice is also something people need to get over. Therapy is not easy. Therapy is not supposed to be easy. Therapy is tough, and you've got to be ready for it, and you've got to be committed, and you have to participate fully. And it's not about the therapist healing you. It's about you understanding through the therapist being your mirror and giving you the techniques and showing you stuff and leading you through, that you start to heal your own wounds. Because a lot of people also think that by going to see a therapist, the therapist is going to do the work. That's also another misnomer.
Okay, great. There's so much that we're gonna discuss as time goes by.
Okay.
Yeah. For now, just thank you. Thank you so much for all those insights and your time. And yeah, we'll keep talking and hopefully embark on this journey that will help lots of people become their best selves, right?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
And if their best self today is up here and their best self tomorrow is down here, that's okay too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Because
journey.
every moment is different.
And it's a journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Take care, Dama.
You too. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.